You, Martin. Thank you for being brief. Also, let us move on to our last panelist, Mr. Jose Luis de Madeira from the culture, the cultural department in the city of Valencia. I'd like to thank the organizers, and I will simply, really honestly thank gvSIG for inviting me. This is a tool that will help us in managing. I represent the administration, and this tool is extremely interesting for us. About us, we are end users, we are archaeologists. So, the engineers we like the best are Romans, the guys in ancient Rome. Those are the real innovators, and we're used to other type of tools. We use shovels and spades, but we don't tend to use these IT tools. So we're end users with specific interests. Where do we come from? Well, when I started working for the local administration, they gave me some maps and plans and drawings. We had little cards that could be consulted online, and we used cardboard files. Back in the day, the GPS was not available for us. It was something that only the U.S. Military used. That we started working ArcGIS, because this is what we had learned in the courses that we were made to attempt. We used OZ Explorer. I'd like to thank this Norman, the Australian lad who produced this, and we would set dots, as you can see on the screen. That's what we used to do, but what do we do today? The reason for which we have been invited to this conference. We have an archaeology map. We integrate GIS in our day-to-day work, and I'd like to focus on the archaeology map, which is sort of an administrative maze or labyrinth. I think we have some 3 users. Maybe 3 is too much. So it's not that we had problems trying to become integrated under gvSIG. It was absolutely impossible some years ago. So we reached an agreement with the regional government of Valencia and the University of Valencia. I believe Agustí Díaz is in the room. We worked hard with him. We decided to go for gvSIG, and the University of Valencia suggested using PostgreSQL. We said fine, and we managed to have a layer with archaeology sites placed, and there was there was a figure in these tables that showed the confidence index. We used Oracle, and we cannot give away the cartography for free. This is by law. I think this drawing is one of Sussex. It's not one of the shipwrecks that the company Odyssey is trying to steal valuable items from. So we had to use proprietary software, and like that ship, we sank. Then 2012 came along, and they offered GV Hydra to manage this archaeology cartography, this map. This would be managed by the IT guys, but what did this offer? Well, it was an application to go beyond those little cards we had, and through a user-friendly interface, we could use, and it could run on Mozilla Firefox, so that we could manage our archaeology cartography. The problem is that we started working around data and datum, and we are not IT guys. We are not cartographers. We are archaeologists. And here you have on the screen the different settings. We started moving from points to polygons. We were no longer interested only in points, but also in polygons, so that the guys who design road infrastructure, for instance, would not crush our archaeology sites. So numerous problems came up, and of course we this allowed to use CSV. So we were back to the beginning, but we have managed to improve one thing. So the three of the users of this tool can share the information. So the PostgreGIS used to be something private in a specific computer, and it could not be shared. So archaeology, the archaeology department that would be, has been considered pioneers in integrating all the cultural heritage. So we have to make an inventory of all the cultural heritage in the region. So here you see endless elements. We have Via Augusta, Roman roads. We have prehistoric remains, archaeological sites. It's all there in the map. This goes for rural and urban areas. We have the zoning, the plots, and again we have all sorts of ancient elements. We are also involved in environmental impact and town planning. If I were to go into this, I'd need a whole a new conference. So I believe there are some meetings. There's a conference in the Caribbean, so I will accept the invitation. And going back to what I'm actually dealing with, a royal decree was passed in the year 2010. It's 208/2010, and the idea was to have a georeferenced digital cartography using a format SHP or DXF. This royal decree is quite a long one. It's a very long law or decree, and it's quite complicated. And the idea was to do everything in gvSIG. Of course, this is an example for you to see how often roads are built on top of archaeological remains and sites. Unfortunately, this is the situation now. We are still having trouble to record every single site of interest. We were to perform an inventory of absolutely all the cultural heritage. Actually, this required a huge effort. We started to generate some standards to work with. This is an orthophotogrammetry of an archaeological site. See the same site, but with vectors, with the same stratigraphic units and elements. Everything is in place, and we no longer have a point, but we have a site that can even go beyond polygons. See, these two maps are kind of similar. They look alike. We've integrated numerous elements. What else? We have to generate cultural interest sites. We needed to collect publications, visual basin studies, population studies, historical landscape studies, and also heritage and rural and mountain pathways and trekking trails. So all of this information we've had to collect. Here you see a point of interest, of cultural interest. This would be Valencia la Bella, the old part of the city of Valencia. It's therefore considered a site that we are to record and manage. And here you see other views. This tool also allowed us to assess the damages caused by some of the big fires that took place in our forests last summer. Since you guys are involved in cartography, I'll tell you that we are only users, so to speak. And this is an example of how the cadastre line matches some Roman roads. So this is interesting. And we see the different scales. You have 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. I can even talk less. I decided to call my presentation the beginning of a long journey. Well, we're no engineers, we're no experts in geodesy, we're simply archaeologists. So I think the administration, our office, is benefiting, making the most of gvSIG. But I think all the different technicians in the local and regional government should use gvSIG so that we could exchange information easily. again, if not only the administration but other professionals use gvSIG, then we can share information with them. Information will be accessed quickly, data will be reliable, and everything will be easier, faster, and of course, this will bring the costs down, and this is beneficial for one and all. If the administration doesn't have to spend as much money, this means that the taxpayer saves, and the citizen is the third vertex of this triangle. José Antonio López Mira and I am José Luis Madeira. We have been in charge of producing this presentation. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and I'll take a seat again, not very, very quickly. I'm sure the interpreters don't really like you too much. You are absolutely right. Let's now open a Q&A round. Are there questions in the room? Well, since we're really falling behind schedule, we're going to call this session an end. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask during coffee breaks and during the lunch break. So thank you so much for listening.